Hey, what's up, everyone? Today I'm going to talk about the editing spectrum. Now, we're going to break this down in a little bit. But if you don't know me, my name is Max. I'm 24. I own Glacier NYC Photography. We are a headshot photography business located in New York City, and we specialize in actors' headshots. So today I want to take another dive into editing. We've spoken about editing a little bit in the past, and today I want to talk about my process and what makes editing so difficult. So, the first thing that I want to mention is that editing is super, super subjective. One of the most subjective things. Photography is an art form in itself, and of course, that is subjective, and so is editing. I'm just going to break this down, and we're just to focus, we'll talk about one specific example, and this is the editing spectrum. So when we talk about this, just note that when you go to Lightroom or you go to your editing software of choice, you're going to be met with a lot of sliders. And on these sliders, you can move the slider to one side or the other. And right here I have smooth and rough, and that is just in relation to skin softening. This is one aspect that we can change in post-production effects. So, for example, if the client is looking for their skin to look immaculate, to look perfect, and almost a little bit fake, we could smooth their skin out completely. On the other hand, if they're looking for a more rugged look, we could roughen up their skin a little bit, and if they want a crazy look, we could roughen it up a lot. And if they want a more neutral look, we could stay in this middle range. So, this begs the question, which is better? And what does the client want? What this really means is that there's such a wide range, there's a spectrum of what we can deliver to the client in their edit. We could give them super smooth skin, we could give them rough skin, and this spectrum applies to every single edit within the photo. Contrast, lighting, highlights, whites, blacks, different hues, saturation, texture, clarity, what else? There's like a million other things that it applies to. So when we first deliver the photo, you might ask, how do we decide what they're looking for? Well, we go through a full vision planning process where we try to figure out exactly what the client is looking for before we deliver the final result to them. And we try our best to read their mind of what they're going to want with editing. And this is something that we're working on and we will continually be working on, is to decide where to put each of these sliders, figuratively and in reality. Where to put the slider and where to put the slider on the spectrum. So, just to give you an example, a few weeks ago we had a client, and when we delivered the photos to the client, we brought the skin smoothing, I want to say up to about here. Okay, pretty good amount of skin smoothing. Their face looked a lot smoother than in reality, right? So we deliver this photo to the client. Okay, they get back to us, really nice, yeah, good work. We just have one comment though. We wish that you could smoothen our skin more. So keep in mind, we're at like a 7, right? If this is a 5, we're maybe at an 8 already, right? We're at an 8. And they say, oh, it's not smooth enough. So, what do? I want to please the client, right? So I say, okay, listen, I'm going to touch this up for you again, and we go up to a 9. And we deliver it to the client, and they're much happier, and they like how it looks super skin smooth. It almost looks like really actually looks airbrushed. You can tell that it's been edited heavily, right? Whereas if you bring it down a notch, it's a little more natural. It's like, okay, they maybe edited a little, but like this is natural. We can see the actor under there, right? And with a 9, it's like, okay, guys, like you airbrush this. Now, this week, we delivered to a client who was looking for a more natural look. We delivered them a 7. Okay, so a little bit smooth in skin, we definitely smoothed the skin out more than it naturally looked. And we delivered them a 7. And they came back to us and they said, that's way too much. We want it to be more natural and less smoothed out. So what do? Of course, we're going to please the client. So we say, okay, you're at a 7. We're going to bring it down to a 6. And actually, I haven't gotten to it yet, but I'm going to be working on that tonight to bring down to a 6. So we have 2 different scenarios, right? We had one client, we delivered an 8, and they say, oh, that's not good enough. So we give them a 9. And we have another client, we deliver them a 7, and they say, oh, that's too much. We need to bring it down. And we're going to deliver them a 6 or a 5. So these are 2 opposite sides of the spectrum. One person, we smoothed it out a lot and they wanted more. One person, we did not smooth it that much and they wanted less. So we're mind readers in this industry, right? We're trying to get it right on the first try. No one wants more work for themselves. We would all much rather, both the photographer and the client would much rather receive from the client end and deliver from the photographer end a great final product on the first try. This is what everyone wants. No one wants more time. No one wants more headache. No one wants more back and forth. No one wants more emails. No one wants more communication. Everyone wants the final result and they want it now, right? So that's what we're trying to deliver. I just want to mention that editing is extremely subjective. And I totally can see why editors have such a tough job. They are trying to always please the client and they want to give the best result for their customer. So something that we'll be working on in the future is doing some pre-editing planning. I think that when we do our vision calls, we talk 100% about the photo shoot. And we will start talking about editing and post-production in the vision planning call. Something that we totally emphasize, which has brought us so far, is the preparation. We do our best to give the client the complete picture of their whole experience before we even put a camera in front of their face. Okay, we nail down the moods, the emotions, the themes, and their whole vision beforehand. And something that I'm kind of thinking about now is how can we bring the editing, how can we bring the post-production into the initial planning phase before the photo shoot. And I think if we can manage to pull this off and to decrease our need for retouching of photos because people are happy on the first try, it's going to make a huge difference. So that's something that we are actively working on, and we got to figure out how to plan. I'm just also making notes for myself. We got to figure out the best way to plan ahead for the editing process, and I might reach out to some editors who are more seasoned in this and see what kind of questions they ask before they edit the photo to avoid re-editing. Another question is like, okay, well, maybe it's very typical for editors to offer retouches. So that's another option too. And anyway, I hope I provided some value to you guys. I just wanted to touch on the subjectivity of editing and how different people see it differently, how different clients want different outcomes for their photo shoot. And yeah, if you have questions about the process, how we work, or just if you have questions for me, just let me know. Have a good one. Bye.